Go time. It's so delayed.
It's not the delay.
It is. I counted. I did everything that is requested of me.
Mute me and listen to your rhythm. There's a stutter step in there.
There's no stutter in it.
There's no hitch in your giddy up.
It is just straight through. I don't understand why this is a thing. You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Neither do I.
You're like the CGI version of Star Wars. Like, just adding stuff in for the sake of adding stuff in.
I'm not gonna share with you.
Oh man.
Got that original 35 millimeter transfer.
Man, pre CGI Jabba the Hutt. Yep. Han shot first.
Yep, exactly. I
never understood why that was a thing.
Expressing his Second Amendment rights.
Yes. It's crazy that they gave that character, God, I can't remember the name of the character he shot, but they gave him a backstory as well.
Oh, that after the fact?
Yeah.
It's like some, I blame cancel culture.
Speaking of cancel culture and movies and CGI, I spent roughly the whole weekend cleaning my kitchen. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate your input.
As a responsible member of the household, or as a punishment by the only responsible member of the household?
All three. Both of them and a third one.
Oh, well, so you didn't have to sell yourself out.
That's true, but I mean,
was I the only one who commented?
Yeah, I think. Well, you're the only one close enough to comment, right? Like everybody else is just going to be like, "Dang, kitchen's messy." But to my in my defense, though, I was thinking about cleaning the area. Then I was like, but aesthetically, it doesn't look rapper like to have like a clean, a clean countertop. I thought it looked more hip hop.
It's a very early 90s mentality there, buddy.
You know what I'm saying?
Didn't Black Moon make an entire album about dirty kitchens?
That is true. Well, either that or in a dirty kitchen, one or the other.
Oh.
Yo, opening question, Kev. Not a very, exciting or. All right.
Go ahead.
So we recently had rain, right? Yes. Then we were supposed to have a storm coming in on Tuesday.
Okay.
The day this episode comes out. That rain is no longer in the forecast. Are you super disappointed like I am?
Oh, why? Did you have buckets out or something? Are you going to collect the water?
I just feel like, it's a little better outside when it's raining. Like it just, you know what I mean? I was ready for some more rain, man.
I think it's supposed to rain Wednesday. You'll be all right.
I mean, like I said, it wasn't an exciting opening question. It just was an opening question. I didn't have any.
If it rained one day every couple 2-3 months, that'd be perfect. If we can work on that.
I've always said once a week, every Thursday evening. If we could schedule rain once a week, every Thursday evening.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And Friday, when you want to go out, the sky's clear. Saturday, sky's clear. Sunday, it's just getting messy again. Monday, you got to go back to work, so you ain't even really tripping. And then by Thursday, it washes it all away again. You
do realize that's very low on the list of things that we're asking the higher powers to.
I mean, get it done.
Commiserate with us on. Yeah.
Well, we still have the daylight savings time thing that California voted on. That we didn't turn in because the president ended up being not only a Republican but also an idiot. Not that Republicans are idiots, but he decided to combine the two for some odd reason. So yeah, and you knew that. I think the obvious thing was
that why? They actively pushed against it? Because I thought that all just was like a
well, I don't
non-issue
know.
almost.
I don't know what would have happened if they gave it to him, but he was so, tough on it. He was so runny mouth about Cali that I have no doubt in my mind that had they sent that over to him, like, yo, can you sign this to get rid of our daylight savings time? He would have been like, and you know what they're worried about right now? Fires and earthquakes, and they're worried about the time. And look, every other state, whatever stupid thing he does or did. So I have a feeling they're gonna go ahead and slide that over as pandemic scares calm down.
Yeah, I love how they fix that right after all of our computers and watches actually change automatically.
Bang. Thank you, Callie. We appreciate it. Change it. Before all of you tech companies move to Texas, can you please make sure that our watches and phones and stuff are fixed for Cali time now? Thanks.
You'll be back.
You'll be back. You'll be back. Oh, I strongly believe you'll be back.
Joe Rogan will be driving the truck. You'll be back.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a couple of years. You'll be back. Go ahead. Windows.
Come on, John. Come on back.
We'll see you in a minute. No worries. I'll be here waiting. Anyhow, all right, Kev, we got a show. We got clown to talk about in the beginning and some stuff to clown about
clowns.
later.
So much losers.
I'm already ready. I think weekly episode, all of 2021. I feel like the capacity of clowns. I feel like this year is going to be perfectly fine. There are definitely 50 clowns available probably right now.
Clown guest list. Lined up.
Exactly.
All the way down the street.
A clown guest list. All right. Yo, Kevin, you ready, man? Let's get to that side. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go.
Rap Sucks Radio. Blah, 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 blah.
What up, y'all? You alive on Rap Sucks Radio with your homeboy Track Life and your fam, Kev Dakota.
DJ Short Squeeze.
You know what, man? A nice little teaser for the episode. Like Good job, man. Good job. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you would like to catch past episodes of Rap Sucks Radio, you can go to rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. Apple, Stitcher, whatever. We on there. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. You can also catch this on your television. What you do, if you're on BTSN. So here, let me help y'all out. And myself, actually.
Can you help yourself out?
What you do is you go to your Roku, your Fire Stick, or your Fire TV, any of your Amazon Fire devices. You download the app or channel, whatever it's called in their app store, and click on that joint. No sign in, no nothing. We are right there. We have our own section and everything, Rap Sucks Radio, amongst other great shows. And you can catch us right there on BTSN, Behind the Scenes Network. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it, Kev. Who got to chill, man?
Oh, little Miss Low IQ Anon.
You know what? You're full of them right now. You ready for the battle right now.
Winning.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Gotta chill. Gotta chill. You know what I'm saying? Topic title for this is You Should Shut Up Now. You know what I mean? It's about that time. Reason is Republicans politicians were pressed about how the party should respond to Greene, who faces calls for expulsion from Congress. This is due to her comments about the Parkland, Florida, shooting in 2018. What I am going to report from is NBC News. This is about a mother who had a conversation, a victim of the Parkland shooting. Mother had a conversation with Mrs. I'm not sure, Mrs. Greene. I believe it's Mrs. And that's the report here. But there are several different conversations that have happened about this, just so you guys are clear. So, the mother of one of the victims of the 2018 shooting at a high school in Parkland, Florida, said she spoke to Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene after Greene drew widespread backlash last week for outlandish comments she made on social media, including one suggesting that the shooting was a false flag operation. The woman, whose name is Linda Bagel, I don't want to say Bagel Schulman, whose son Scott was one of the 17 people killed in the attack, said Greene told her that she does not believe that these believe major school shootings from the past decade were false flag events or that they had been staged. But Schulman said that Greene declined to join her publicly to disavow them on MSNBC. So I'm going to kind of sparingly read this so we can have more conversation. But what is notable about this article is that Mrs. Schulman did let Marjorie Taylor Greene know that she was going to be on MSNBC. Just so she said, I didn't want to have this conversation where I'm paraphrasing, but she didn't want to have a conversation that was like a blindsided thing. She let her know, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Marjorie Taylor Greene also said, okay, you can go ahead and share the details of this conversation. So this seemed to be pretty open. She described it as friendly and cordial. So, parts of this are basically because Marjorie Taylor Greene has been liking comments that have kind of stated or pointed to the fact that the idea or foolish idea that the Parkland shooting and other shootings were false flags. Some of you have Facebook friends like I used to have, which were using pictures of people saying they were crisis actors. So, I want to say that Mrs. Greene is the only idiot, but shout out to my Facebook timeline. So, so now that I've said my piece, Kev, what's up?
Yeah. It was weird because I actually saw this article. I think this article posted not too long before we got on the air. So I just happened to see it as well. Yeah. But yeah, everyone, I think most people kind of know what this woman's been in the news. She's an elected representative from Georgia, and we've talked about her before, but, pro Second Amendment, but also super QAnon, very attached to theories that are on the fringe, like legit conspiracy theories that are not founded in any kind of factual basis. And the thing that came up earlier this week, I believe, or over the past weekend, was footage of her harassing or confronting David Hogg, who's one of the students from Parkland. Was Parkland or Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school? He was one of the activists that was in that school shooting. One of the many kids who came out and very actively advocated for gun legislation and some reform. And he's I think he graduated, but high school student. So basically a kid. I don't think that's insulting him to say she in DC tried to confront him when he was on his way to testify, I believe, or to meet with someone in Congress. Confronted him, put it on camera. I'm assuming she thought it was going to make her look special, but kind of just made an ass of herself. And part of that is what you were talking about, where she one of the many conspiracy theories she believes in is that the Parkland shooting and the Sandy Hook shooting are, like you said, she calls them false flags, which from what I could tell means that these were staged events that did not actually happen, that were just staged and set up and made to look real so that people would eventually come and take your guns away. Right. To give someone a false premise to want to take your guns away, which is, it's pretty foul on a number of different levels. And then the fact that she went after a high school kid on the streets, for no reason other than to make herself look better is pretty clownish in and of itself. So
I like how you said pretty clownish. It's very clownish. It's it's not partially clownish. It is full on red nose, rainbow wig, big shoes. My thing about this is, I guess people could probably give me an answer to this, their opinion, but why? Why go through all of this? You know, I almost feel like, and this is going to be a weird connection, but I almost feel like WandaVision is going to fuel these people into thinking like, see, the government has a secret area that they can formulate these type of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything's a stage. Like you have to be in that level of thinking to think this far, in my opinion. But I do want to go into what Representative Hutchinson said. As the Republicans were pressed about how they would respond to Greene, the quote is, the people of her district elected her, and that should mean a lot. This is Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, who's also a Republican. They elected her, and she is going to run for re-election, and she will be accountable for what she said and her actions. Now, I'm reading this quote, but I don't know the temperament of I don't know how this was spoken, like how the governor, whether the governor was saying she's gonna hold this L or you guys need to back off. I'm not sure, but I think just reading that quote is pretty profound, because if the governor is saying it in a like, and that should mean something to you guys, I read it as, and that should mean a lot that these fools actually elected this clown. You know what I mean? Like I read that quote reads in so many different, in both ways, in my opinion. So,
well, I mean, I heard him say it today. I think there's a quote from Show Today. One, he's the governor of Arkansas. I don't particularly like him just in terms of his policies all that much. He's done some weird stuff, said some weird stuff. Sure. I'm pretty sure he's a Trump supporter, but, he's the governor of Arkansas. So she's from Georgia. So yes, I would assume that, he kind of doesn't want to get too deep in it. This has given a lot of Republicans, I think, the ability to, look reasonable it's a real easy way to look. It's like an easy pass for being reasonable when you're otherwise a complete lunatic. By just saying, by not supporting her. Like, when there are a few, small handful of Republicans who have come out and said she's kind of got to, she got to go. Yeah. Like Kitzinger or whatever his name is, that younger dude who's trying to get her, at least, checked in a serious way, or, kicked off of because she was put on the education committee, which is not something that just happens.
Right.
So, that's sort of an elevation for her. It's one thing for her to get elected and then to respect the will of the people who voted for her. It's another thing to elevate her to positions that she's shown no qualification nor, reason that she should be allowed to do these things that are kind of considered an honor. So, yeah, I don't know. The Republicans, they're real wishy-washy. They're all scared. It's, I don't know. To me, it just shows why they all want guns, because they're all so scary.
Well,
about everything.
You took a shot. I was like, I had to duck. Like, whoo, just getting that shot. Like, no, you mentioned something that I think is important before we move on, and the events of January 6th. I think gave that similar opportunity to a fair amount of conservatives. Right. To be like, oh, that's awful. We wouldn't do that. But it's like, but you would do the things. Not every conservative. I do want to always make that clear on the show that, this is not one of those things where we dump everybody into a bucket and call them all the same thing. Right. But for those conservatives that are really edging towards policies and ideologies that would lead to the events of January 6th, to now kind of be able to skate the rail and say, okay, no, that's really bad. And just kind of play this game like, okay, we get it, but I don't think we don't see you. You know what I mean? You're very clearly out in the front. We see you. Just so you know.
And they're not even, this is not Tony Hawk up here. skating the rail. This Lindsey Graham literally was like, count me out. Like New Edition, you know, like the wackest member of New Edition.
The wackest.
And then 3
one.
days later, it's unconstitutional to hold the former president accountable. It's like, come on, dude.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but you have to be a ridiculous person. I don't know, to even be like him or breathe air that, whatever. Like, I don't even know what to say. Your topic title for this.
I even like this one.
Go ahead and read your topic title.
Next topic is entitled Badonk stonk.
Why, Kev? Why is it titled Badonk stonk?
Some of you may have heard or may not have heard. Some funny things happened in the stock market this past week. A little bit of action, a little bit of unexpected frenzy with some fine people on Reddit, some fine people at hedge funds. There were fine people on both sides.
They were fine, good people on both sides. Yo, all right. So the reason for this insanely hilarious topic title, Badonk stonk, is that the Reddit channel, Wall Street Bets founder calls the GameStop stock frenzy a symbolic movement. I actually kind of agree with him here, but we'll discuss that in a moment. NPR is the source. Jamie Rogozinski is the actual player involved in this. He is the founder of Wall Street Bets. And so he says he saw the GameStop chaos coming. And in quotes, he said, it's fascinating to watch. As the founder and former moderator of Wall Street Bets, the now famous Reddit online forum that recently sent shares of GameStop, AMC, and other beleaguered companies soaring in a battle with hedge funds, betting the shares would fall. So the hedge funds are shorting, and let's say the little people, quote unquote, are pushing the price higher. Right. His quote is, this is a great conversation that the whole world is having right now. This is in an interview with All Things Considered. The amateur day traders who banded together to fuel a short squeeze on the video game retailer, inflicting enormous losses for hedge funds, are part of a symbolic movement. It's the democratization of financial markets. It's giving voice to people that didn't previously have one. The rise of free online trading platforms like Robinhood and the instant connection afforded to the internet communities like Wall Street Bets combined to create this moment. That was not his quote. That was a quote from the article. Kev, what's up? Your thoughts? Econ major. Thoughts of an econ major?
Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
See, I know I shouldn't have told you that.
I think I knew that already, but forgot.
Well, I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? Because the thing about this is that in having an econ major has nothing to do with being successful in the stock market, by the way. But except for having the understanding that striving to have more perfect information about the investments that you choose to, participate in, will always help your performance. And by and large, the way that in my opinion, the way that the entire game has been tilted is that, the institutional investors or the hedge fund guys, those guys who are in the mix, just like anything else, whether it's the music business or the movie business or professional sports, those in the know have a closer connection to the top players or, the people who are making moves. And so they can more quickly react to that and take advantage of whatever the situation may be.
Sure.
So the thing that was fun watching this was that you had a few guys who are probably closer to that level, I assume, who are, at the core of Wall Street Bets. And they said, listen, we're seeing these guys buy up a large chunk of GameStop stock. Obviously, we understand why. I don't know. I also don't know that information is particularly proprietary or hard to get a hold of these days. But what they were then able to do is turn around and say, hey, everybody, guess what we get to do?
Yeah.
And plus you love GameStop because we're all nerds. So, let's scoop it up. As long as you listen, you will know when you can, make a little bit of money, but you can also, by the way, completely stick it to these guys who are not letting us participate in the vast amounts of wealth that they are creating for their high value, clients. Yeah. So that's what happened. Of course, it lasted about a day before all the rule makers completely tried to shut it down, including Robinhood. But, we'll see what happens because it's not like they're going to stop now. It's like saying that, K-pop stands were going to stop trolling, MAGA people on TikTok or whatever. It's like, it's going to keep as long as the ability to do it is there, they're going to do it because it's super fun. Yeah.
There's no need to stop doing that either, but
not at all.
So a couple of good points there that, I want to kind of jump in on. I know that, well, I don't know this, but research for those of you out there, whether one of the Robinhood owners or founders is part of one of the hedge funds that took a L, because I believe that that's the case.
See, I didn't.
Yeah. So I was told that today. So my initial theory was Robinhood is already kind of in trouble with the old heads, the old money energy. Right. So when this happened, this was their go sign to be like, listen, you guys need to freaking fix this. And so I thought, listen, y'all mad at Robinhood, but Robinhood don't have no power. You know what I mean? Robinhood really doesn't have any power. They only have had the power of the people. And when the people push back like they have, then the old head money goes, stop it. Now to find out allegedly that he was part of one of the hedge funds is like, okay, see, now you tripping. You know what I mean?
I haven't dug into what the structure is of how, Robinhood makes money from the people who invest through the platform. Like, traditional brokerage, you make a transaction fee or you take a percentage of the, the gains or whatever the case may be, right? There's sort of these traditional models, that I think have been around for a while, depending on which, firm you're working with. I'm not sure how Robinhood works, but the CEO went on TV yesterday, I think, or the day before, and was saying that it was necessary that they halt trading to their customers because they were covering the potential, somehow covering the potential volume that was going to need to be traded as a result of what their customer base was doing, which sounded kind of fishy, but I didn't have any reason to know why or why not that was. It also, at the same time, there was a hedge fund guy who the day after it happened, had to inject $1 billion into Robinhood's bottom line, I think, to help them cover those potential costs. Now, again, I'm not just speculating, but also speculating in a way that I don't know what I'm talking about. But somebody's in trouble.
Somebody's in big trouble.
Somebody's in trouble. Aside from the hedge fund that lost, 50% of its value in a week to a bunch of nerds.
To a bunch of goofballs on the internet. I learned two things from this. So, because I'm one of the goofballs. I learned, well, not in this case, but I am a goofball on the internet. But, so I learned, I've always thought the stock market, and I think we had discussed this, but multiple people have had this conversation with, including my neighbor, that it's just legalized gambling.
The leaf blower lady?
No, I haven't talked to her.
You guys need to patch that up, man. Come on.
It's all good. Sometimes you got to shut things down, but, there's legalized gambling, but it's different though, in the sense that, a company's value, is based on their performance, right? That's the story. If you believe this company is going to perform in a couple of years, then you put your money into it and hope that the stock rises. Or you work for a company and you feel like that company's going to be strong and they're giving out shares and you're purchasing shares with part of your paycheck or whatever. However you do it, the idea is this company is going to perform well. And if they perform well, then the value of that company is going to increase. Now, enter in the internet, Robinhood, Webull, Ustock Trade. And prior to all of that, just day traders, penny stock day traders who were looking at companies that were either not doing so great, not there yet, low value companies, and saying, we can shave pennies off of raising these prices. You know what I'm saying? If we see volume, we're going to trade volatility, and we're going to make thousands. If I put in $10,000, let's just throw a number out there, then and it rises, 10%, then boom, I'm in. I made my bread, right? These dudes, over the years, I've watched it. I've been part of it. I've done it myself. These dudes are getting more and more savvy and more and higher in personnel. Like a lot of people are day trading. A lot of them aren't day trading stocks. They're day trading, crypto. Now, I said all that to get to this particular point because Dogecoin is another conversation we can have really quickly. But I watched this happen in 2017 when I got into trading, and particularly trading crypto, because as I was asking questions, people were like, you should avoid the stock market and just trade cryptocurrency. Trust me. And I was like, that's not even a real thing. I'm not doing that. Right. So, but I did pay attention to it. And all of these pump and dump things, there are groups that have been doing this on Slack and on Discord for years. And they've been doing it with crypto. A cryptocurrency that's worth less than a penny will jump up to like 4 or 5 cents and then die in a matter of like 2 to 3 minutes, if that. That's because these groups are pouring this money in. You jump in, get your money. But if you are not out by the time it collapses, then you probably lose a lot of money, right? So it was only a matter of time before they took this. They all collectively made enough money and took this over to the other side of the game. And who's to stop them? You know what I mean? Who's to really stop them?
Rich people.
Well,
the house.
They're going to try. Yeah.
The house. Let's put it this way. To take your analogy further, if you're playing blackjack, and you have really, really like above average vision, and you can see everybody's cards around here, your peripheral vision is fantastic. You can see everyone's cards. You're going to have better information than the average player.
Sure.
If you also have a great memory and you can count cards, you're obviously going to have a way better chance of winning than the average player, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So what happens if you're counting cards? They shut you down. They kick you out of the casino. If you do it too much, you never get to go to Vegas again, right? But you were working with the information that was given to you. That's what has been happening. It's not that day traders have gotten, I mean, they might have gotten better. I'm not sure, but they just have more information now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The internet they have access, like I said earlier, to the information that the big investors have always had. If you could just go back and look at, just go read any Michael Lewis book, basically around, the 2008 crash and, whatever the Big Short, all that stuff, and just how fiber optic connections or Ethernet connections or whatever it was that they were using to shorten the transaction time by milliseconds was changing the performance of the funds in a material way, just because they were able to make those decisions just not, less than a second faster than their competitor, right?
Yes.
So when you see that and you think about, the fact that I can't even keep my Wi-Fi going for Zoom, already, you're operating at a disadvantage. So yeah, I mean, that's why this story I think is so, compelling. But yeah, to your point, it's been going on for a long time. It's not going to go away. I think the fact that it was GameStop was interesting because, people obviously have a relationship with GameStop on one level or another. They know what it is. They also generally know that it's not a company that's expected to have a 2,000% increase in its stock value.
Who compared it to Blockbuster? Was that you?
Oh,
I was on the phone with it. They said it's GameStop is like Blockbuster.
yeah.
Video. Like
No, I don't think it was me,
it's
but yeah.
on the way out. Oh, my
Right.
cousin. Shout out to my cousin Anthony. He's like,
Yeah.
it looked like Blockbuster. Like there's no reason to go buy a game anymore at this point. Physically, it's just slowly fizzling out. We saw it happen in music stores.
Sure.
Live in front of us. It's actually one of the stories about that Kevin and I can share about the music industry that happened to us. Tower Records closed right in the middle, right as we started to ramp up our sales. Tower Records shut down, and that was going to be the main vendor for the Price I Paid record. So we've seen the loss of physical merchandise kind of kill a lot of people in one fell swoop. We were part of it.
There's actually a good documentary about them, by the way. I forgot to tell you. It's called All Things Must Pass. Oh, yeah.
I can't. It hurts too much.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Be all right.
A lot of work went into that record. But let me throw this out here before we move on. So one of the first places I went to, and they've changed the format of it. I haven't used it very much because it's slightly different than it used to be, but I used to go on Stock Twits. I was a super amateur, like crazy, didn't know nothing, just kind of read. They'd had a list of stocks that were moving. And then when you logged on and you can click into that room and people were discussing the stock, right? So then if you expand that list, you can see ones that are moving by a smaller percentage and you click in until you get one that has a good discussion going. And I would just read and invest in it. I didn't lose once when I was doing that. When I started losing was when I started doing it on my own, like trying to actually figure out, where the volume was going and using all the tools that they would readily converse about. But this is what I learned from Stock Twits. And this is what I'm going to pass on to any listener. You have your hedge fund whales that are working or your hedge funds and your money makers that are working on this side, the side that the house, right? But there are rogue former hedge fund people that are very much interested in the common side of it. What I would say our side of it is. And these people are the ones that are on Stock Twitch teaching the game, or in Reddit teaching the game. These dudes are savvy. And I think that's what Wall Street is afraid of, because they, like any other group of people, like a independent, like an artist that goes independent or what have you, know that they can make more money without you if they know what they're doing. If the game opens up, right, then we talked about it last week, then you can chance the wrapper the game and make a considerable amount of money without ever joining the dark side. These dudes are trying to do the same thing.
You have this built-in army of people that you can mobilize to make the kind of moves that the hedge fund can make because of their volume, right?
Right.
It doesn't become that complicated to think about the fact that they're going to do everything they can to make that happen, but they're also going to make sure that they make more money than anybody else involved.
Right. But that's the other side of the game. That's the side of the game that, okay, let's discuss. Let's briefly try to discuss what fairness really is in capitalism, right? Because I've been thinking about this since we had a conversation. We for the folks that don't know, we had a kind of occasionally we have like a pre-conversation about the show, what we're going to talk about or whatever. So I don't think it's unfair that a person with more information and more knowledge in a free market makes more money than a person with limited or new, or is new to the game. You know what I mean? What would be unfair would be if that knowledge was unavailable to some people and available to others. And I'm talking totally unavailable, not, by level. Like, you might know if I happen to know somebody at a company and they give me insider stock trading information, it's illegal, but I do form that relationship. It's not for me. It's not like, I did anything, to undermine the rest of the world. You know what I mean? I just happen to know this person. Maybe I grew up with them, whatever. What's unfair is what is being competed with right now, right? The hedge funds, and they have all this money. They have all the resources or what have you. and you have to join them, right? Financially to make more money. You know what I'm saying? If this market is going to be open, like what we saw on Reddit, and someone who knows more is making more, I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is the way that it's set up now. And I think that this short squeeze, which short squeezes have gone on far before this. This is not the first short squeeze ever. Period. Like, just keep that in mind. What's happening is not unprecedented, in action. It's unprecedented. Just
who's doing the squeezing?
Who's doing exactly right. So, right. It's suppressed by personnel. So that's really the key here is like, this could be revolutionary. It's possible to be revolutionary, but just remember, similar to what's happening in the music industry where Spotify is now paying you 4 cents. That's quite a bit of money. 0.004 cents every time your record is streamed is what industries tend to do when these things become fair. You know what I'm saying? Is they tend to be like, okay, now we'll make it fair, but everyone will make equally horrible amount less money. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking for. How these, fat jowl rich people are going to try to make sure that people can only make pennies and they can still make money off the top, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think any of us, I mean, you and I are talking in a way that I'm sure to us sounds like we might know what we're talking about.
Right.
Even though we have both said we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't know.
But yeah, it's hilarious going on Facebook, reading some of the things that people are writing over the last week.
Yeah.
I'm like, cause my tangent, but somewhat related example. My daughter's been getting into Pokemon lately. Mm-hmm. Which is this whole universe that I never paid attention to. I knew about Pikachu. That was it, right?
Right.
Every time we sit down, she's telling me about all the different characters and what they do and what they turn into and what their powers are. This whole universe that she's just immersed in, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, I don't care. I love you. And I'm so happy that you're excited about something. And I don't care.
All right. So this sounds like me telling you.
But then I
Star
read
Wars.
people talking about Facebook. I mean, talking on Facebook about this situation or about crypto. I'm like, she makes more sense.
Well,
talking about the half rat, half rabbit creature that shoots thunderbolts out of its ass than you do talking about cryptocurrency.
She does, because it's not real. And and I don't want to undermine it. There are definitely real qualities to blockchain and et cetera, but Dogecoin was a joke. I mean, I just wish that we could recognize that there's, I don't know. I don't want to get into it because, like you said, I don't really all the way know what I'm talking about. And I don't want to disrespect those that are into blockchain and really know a lot about it. But the currency side of this ranges from legitimate to straight scheme. And where you get in is where you get in.
And that's the thing. I think I should take it one step further and just say, but that's not new, because short selling in itself is a bet against the company.
Right.
So it's understandable that the house allows you to make this bet, but it's like it should be seen as some weird prop bet on a boxing match or something, like which shoe does this guy tie first before he gets in the ring or what? It's not a thing. No one cares. It doesn't have any outcome on the fight. So when you start shorting the stock and, obviously no one's going to make this stop, but, if a stock is supposed to be an indicator of the future value of the company based on actual data and whatever product or innovation that the company comes up with, that ain't it. GameStop is not going to become the behemoth online retailer of video games. It's
not after
just
closing
not gonna
300
happen.
stores, it ain't.
So yeah, it's all a game. Money's not real.
No, it's only valued at what you say the value is. I mean, and profoundly stated by my econ major friend.
Oh, now last thing. I'm
Yeah.
going to relay to everybody the one thing that I did learn from getting that degree, which I think I shared with you the other day.
Yes.
When you're reading that book or that Facebook post about how you can make all this money in blockchain or on the stock market, ask yourself, if you could make all that money in the stock market or by investing in crypto or any other real estate or anything else, if this guy could make all that money, why is he telling you the secret? That is counter to the entire idea of how capitalism works. Okay? And then in his next post, he's going to be calling Bernie Sanders a socialist. But he just shared with you all the secrets of how to get rich. Something ain't working. Something ain't right.
Well, and we got to get off the subject, but in response to you though, if this is the revolution they're claiming it is, then maybe that's the point.
Maybe.
If I'm saying strong if this is the revolution they're claiming, that I've seen at least over the last it'll be 4 years now in my studies and attempts to trade and invest, that people are talking revolution. They're talking change of Wall Street entirely. Maybe this is the change. I don't
Bernie
believe
Sanders
so.
mittens. I have my mittens over here. I'm ready.
Yo, which you aren't ready to do. Kev, can I take a moment?
Yes, please.
You guys do not get to see the greatness of Kev Sakota that I get to see in this spreadsheet. This man has been coming up with titles that I have been scrolling through like, this is hilarious. If you are a newspaper,
I stole them all from
or
Reddit.
see, revolution, a newspaper or any editorial outlet, please contact Kev Sakota for titles to your articles. He is killing it right now. The topic title for this is "You Ain't Fly, So Go Ahead with Yourself." The reason why, in the roots, come on. Reason why is airline pilots making in-flight errors say they're rusty because of the pandemic. Can we just take a moment to recognize how fresh that title was relative to the topic?
Before we get into the topic,
man.
can I do a quick sneak topic, by
Sure.
the way?
I'm with it.
Did you see that Philly has completely bumbled their COVID vaccine rollout because they put some children in charge of it?
I think Sonya posted that. So yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
What, can they just have the Roots do it?
You want Questlove giving out vaccines?
Yes.
Wait,
Yes.
What was the record where he was screaming at the A&R at the end of it? You want that guy giving out vaccines? I'm not ready for that.
The funny thing is I listened to this song. I forgot that he rapped on it.
Oh, the You Ain't Fly joint? Yeah.
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 All right.
Questlove
Anyway.
is a mystery to me.
Rocky
yo.
statue.
Right? Let's bring it back. Why is there still a Rocky statue? So anyway, the LA Times reports the players involved in this, I said, are the full cast and crew of the movie Airplane.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
So here's part of the article. A pilot preparing to pull a passenger jet away from the airport gate forgot to disengage the parking brake, damaging part of a toy vehicle that was trying to pull the plane to the runway. Another pilot had so much trouble landing a passenger jet on a windy day that it took 3 tries before the plane touched the ground successfully. In another incident, The first officer forgot to turn on the anti-icing mechanism that ensures the altitude and airspeed sensors on the outside of the plane are not blocked by ice. Luckily for the passengers, the plane completed its flight without problems. These incidents are among at least a dozen flying errors and mishaps since May that pilots and first officers have attributed, at least in part, to being out of practice because of COVID-19 pandemic, which pushed air travel demand to the lowest levels in decades, had kept them away from flying for a while. Here's a quote. Real simple. Because I had not flown for a few months, I was rusty. The first officer who forgot to activate the anti-icing mechanism said in an anonymous report to the safety and reporting system run by NASA. I felt that my recollection was strong enough, but in reality, I should have taken some time to review the standard operating procedures. Who's terrified right now?
In other words, he said, we're talking about practice? Boy. Oh, the Philly shade. It's just piling up. It's too much.
Hey, man, listen. I was like, I'm terrified.
Yeah. And still you want to fly just so you can tell people you don't want to wear a mask.
Well,
plane.
There's a reason why your ticket is cheap. It's because homie ain't flown in 6 months. They like, yo, Bill, you good?
Well, they're saying the same thing's happening with people on the road.
I read that accidents are happening because that a lot of car accidents are happening because people are driving too fast because the roads are open.
Yo, that almost happened to me. I mean, not almost happened to me, but the other day I'm driving and I'm on the freeway. Again, the only reason I get on the freeway is to make sure my battery doesn't completely die out between times that I get in the car. Literally. I learned the hard way. Trust me. But I'm on the freeway and traffic started to slow down. I was like, what's that red light? What are all those red lights in front of me? I was like, oh, you got the nerve to stop on the freeway?
Whoa.
Yeah. Like I haven't run into traffic. I mean, I'm not going that far and I'm not going at a weird rush hour time of day, but yeah, I was like, oh, I should probably stop this automobile.
When I do have to go into the office, I go in at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh,
like,
okay,
I'm not even trying to deal with traffic there, going there, because I don't have to be there for 8 hours. I got to be there to handle a couple things for the mail and bounce out. But
yeah, I hope we ease back in, because can you imagine a kid learning how to drive right now? It's a cold world for that kid.
Yeah, you're gonna take an L in about a year when you got to sit in traffic for real. Like, you think that this is it? Like, you wanted to go to the mall, you actually found parking, which is amazing. But yeah, wait till reality hits. It's gonna be a cold glass of water to the face. Inevitably though, for quite a while, I have been going into work very early on some Fridays when my wife is off on a Friday, and twice a year, somebody's flipped over on the freeway 965 times. And I'm like, it's 4:15 in the morning, fam. Chill. Like, you good. Just take your time. Like, get where you got to go. Hopefully the person wasn't asleep or whatever, but it's like, dude,
guess that's what it was. Yeah.
People sometimes you be on the freeway, people be going Mach 900,000. Like, just speeding by. And I'm like, dude, you gonna get in an accident and hopefully you survive, but you gonna mess it up for all of us early birds who get on the freeway to avoid traffic.
That brought back a memory of me being in the fast lane. So the innermost lane. So there was really only one direction I could go if traffic was moving, because I had the median right. It's one of those inside lanes where there's no median. There's just the wall to your left. Traffic stopped. And this is going west on the 10, I think, in the morning. So I think that's when, or in the afternoon. So the sun was right in my face.
Oh, yeah. God,
I'm just like, if I can't see, I know no one else can see, but we're stopped. Suddenly
Yeah.
you just hear screeching. I hear screeching in back of me. So I just put my foot down on that brake. I didn't pull the emergency brake or anything, but I put my foot down on the brake. I was like, let's hope for the best. Kind of got ready for you, made sure my seatbelt was on. And I look in my rear view mirror and I just see a tire flying up. I was like, oh, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me.
What?
People are crazy, dude.
What?
It just didn't get close enough to me to, there's probably a good 8 or 9 cars in back of me. But yeah, dude. Yeah, people.
Yeah, I don't even want to share freeway story. Like, just drive.
If people generally drive sober, pilots are all drunk.
Hey, you know what? You know what I mean?
We saw the Denzel movie.
Yeah, I know two stewardesses now.
Uh-huh. You mean excuse me. You mean flight attendants?
Flight attendants. Is that something I didn't know? If I apologize if I I know 2 flight attendants now.
I think we need to stop right now.
Yeah,
Just take a break.
I've done it. I've done something wrong. I had no clue. I thought we were still in 1988.
You know who's okay with you calling them stewardesses, right?
Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay. That's how bad it is? Had no idea. All right. 2 flight attendants. And if I gave you 2 guesses, I'm only going to give you 2 guesses. When both flight attendants, either or both are in my stream and they state that they are a flight attendant, what is the first question that they are asked? 2 guesses.
You mean like by some stupid idiot?
By random people. Sometimes those idiots are my friends. By random people in the stream. Just, it doesn't matter who they are. What is the first question?
I thought you meant like some idiot businessman on a flight.
No. I'm talking when they're in my stream and they're talking in the stream, or we just are outside in front of Long Beach. What do you think the first question a flight attendant is asked? 2 guesses, go.
I feel like this is an unfair litmus test.
Okay.
And this is a no-win situation, so I choose to pass.
No, you have to answer. We're going to end this show. It's not a question that you would like
to have a drink with me?
It's okay. So 1 wrong. And the next one, the next question is,
I've definitely heard guys offering to buy the stewardess a drink.
Okay.
I'm like, what is wrong with you? Shut up.
On the plane. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What's guess number 2?
It's okay if I take my shoes off on this flight, isn't it?
You see, you're getting it wrong. What do people ask? See, okay. The number 1 question that every flight attendant that I know has been asked.
Do you get to fly free?
That's a good one.
Okay. Why am I? What is this, Family Feud?
I was going to give the answer and you jumped in.
Okay. Sorry.
Have you ever been in the Mile High Club?
Oh.
That is the number 1 question they are asked.
Yeah, that's a fair question, though.
It's like the dumbest. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Well, that person's not just asking for his or her own benefit. It's because the world wants to know.
That's true. Fair enough. I'm being a little prudish.
What do they say?
Normally they're like super offended. Like, what? What the hell? Which lets you know that it's likely that, All right. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all. If you guys would like to catch the show, past episodes of Rap Sucks Radio, you can go to rapsucksradio.com or any of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you'd like to catch it on TV, you can go to Behind the Scenes Network, download the app or channel on your Roku or any of your Amazon Fire devices. Go ahead and click on the app once you download it or channel, and boom, we're right there. My name is Trek Life. I'm your homeboy, Trek Life. That is your fam, Kev Sakota.
Mile high.
Mile high instead of sky high. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. What's wrong with Philly? We'll holler at y'all next time. On the count of 3, we say peace. 1, 2, 3. Peace. And we out, y'all.